Morning, everyone. Welcome to our top 8 for our Avalanche RTLOL Championship. My name is Alcatraz, also known as Marty. I'm the lead designer at Rainy Studios, and I'm joined today by our co-founder, Artkin.
Good morning, Marty. How you doing today?
Yeah, pretty excited, man. This is gonna be a banger, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a super heated 7-hour journey to get us to the finals. So this is the thrilling conclusion we've been waiting all week for. Super keen to see who actually takes the crown. And for the first time in a long time, this will be an official tournament with a champion that is not Huncho, who was knocked out in round 3. Yeah, that was a bit of an upset after the dominating performance of 3-time championships in the last official tournaments we ran back to back.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting stories coming out of this event. Obviously, as you said, the big one being no Huncho in our finals, which is very weird. Obviously, he was our back-to-back-to-back champion, took out 3 events in a row, and in the process of doing so, only dropped a single game, which was in 2022. So an incredibly dominating, I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Just dominating performance. But
I think George took 1 game from him in the Campfire tournament as well, so he
oh,
might have
sorry,
dropped
yeah,
like
sorry, yeah,
yeah,
two,
two games total. But
yeah,
across 3 tournaments to win them is an insane record.
yeah,
To go into this one and get knocked out round 3. Yeah, I think not many people would have expected that.
yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone who's well, hopefully tuning in and joining us this morning. We are streaming with a 30-minute delay. So right now it's still just before 7 a.m. Sydney time. For everyone watching, it's almost 7:30. So obviously we're streaming with a 30-minute delay just to make sure that all of our games are fair, and that no one can get an advantage by tuning in on the stream. The matches you just watched were actually from I believe it was from our January tournaments. Again, watching Huncho take down J Money there in the finals. But probably the other big takeaway from this event is the Alicoin team. So friends and colleagues and fellow gamers of Ali Straza. Ali herself unfortunately didn't make it through. I believe she was knocked out in the second round of this event last weekend. But yeah, they've got 5 of the 8 finalists are from the Alicoin team. So it almost seems like if you've played a little bit of Hearthstone before, or played other TCGs, that you can sort of come in and have a pretty good go at this game.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to the power of organizing preparation for a tournament with a team. So I think if you contrast that with the majority of our community members who have just been playing against each other on a sporadic basis when they get a chance, without as much preparation probably in what types of decks they're playing against, testing certain things. Yeah, I think it's a really good showcase of if you do have a little bit more time and effort expenditure into coordinating a team together to practice certain decks, practice versus certain opponents, and just really do that collective think tanking to come up with the best possible decks. It will put you in potentially a very strong position. So yeah, congratulations to all of the Alicoin guys who made it to the top 8. For anyone wondering, we did run one of the quarterfinals yesterday. Meepo could not make today because it is Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. At least in Australia, we're dialing in from the future. And so Rage generously agreed to play out their quarterfinals yesterday. Rage won that 2-0. So that's why you'll see, if you're looking at the Blue Mint website, some updated brackets. But we have the other 3 quarterfinals to play today, both semifinals, and the big one, the grand final. So yeah, keen to see who progresses.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, I think, because this is, again, not only is our first tournament with Huncho not making it through, obviously a huge prize pool and huge number of competitors for this event, but this is also the first large tournament where we've had 7 deadly sins in the meta. and we've already seen a pretty big shake-up compared to what we've seen in past tournaments. There's a lot less, say, elemental decks making the cut this time around, but still a good mix of both aggressive decks as well as those 3 to 4 color rainbow, sometimes control, sometimes a bit aggressive decks in the meta as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what decks come out on top, and yeah, exactly which cards from Seven Deadly Sins will have the biggest effect on the meta.
Yeah, definitely. I do believe the Alicoin guys, a lot of them are playing the same decks. So we potentially might see a mirror match where, you know, if all the variables are controlled and people are playing the same cards, then it comes down to who draws better and who plays better. So that'll be an interesting one to see those matchups. But we do have the 2 wild cards still in top 7 now. So let's see if one of them can take out some of the Alicoin veterans.
Yeah, and of course, for anyone who is, well, I'm trying to predict what's happening 30 minutes in the future, but I believe Ali is actually streaming over on Twitch as well, so you can go watch some of the other perspectives over there. And yeah, obviously we're streaming on both the Rainy Studios YouTube and Twitch channels respectively. If you are on either of those, please give us a like, a follow, all those good things that we're meant to ask you to do, especially with our YouTube channel. We do host a weekly AMA on this channel every week, and we'll be uploading footage from this tournament as well as, you know, all future tournaments on here as well. So if you do enjoy playing the Lords of Light, a lot of good stuff on this channel.
Yeah, definitely. We've actually just organized a couple of new team members to start helping with editing the videos. So we're hoping that moving forward, we should be able to upload a lot more juicy footage from this tournament in particular, but also, you know, some footage we've still got from the Campfire tournament that was run recently, and a lot more smaller friendly tournaments that we plan on running in the lead up to full launch, which is due around the end of Q2.
Cool. So we should be live now. So let me just quickly jump over and check that everything looks good. It's always the challenge when you're streaming with a 30-minute delay to make sure everything is actually working, but it looks like it is on YouTube. Twitch.tv.
Okay. It looks like Never Lucky pasted the room code if you want to send that to Kat.
Yep, one tick.
And then we will be live streaming the match between Flix 3S and Sneaky Shay. So let me just jump into that one too.
Too many windows open.
Yeah, please bear with us, guys. This is the 1 or 2 minutes where we just need to get everything configured, and then we'll be straight into the action.
Cool, let me just copy that.
Okay. I think Chloe's good to go. Is Cat good to go too?
Yep, good to go. Alright, let's get the matches started.
I'll say we're good to go as well.
Yep. Oh, I don't have to. I was about to hit record, but I don't need to because I'm already
Live streaming.
Yep. Alright. So, I mean, this obviously is our second quarterfinal. We did see one of them played out yesterday. One of the players unfortunately wasn't able to make it today, so we allowed them to play their quarterfinals early, and unfortunately didn't actually make it through. So we have 7 players remaining for today.
Unfortunately for them, kind of fortunately for us, because it would have been hard to coordinate doing the semis and grand finals if they did progress. So, yeah, valiant effort, Meepo, to make it this far. Yeah, but into the game at hand, it looks like we have some orange, some pink, some yellow from Sneaky Shay, and Flicks. We're seeing green, yellow, orange as well, but very different cards. I wonder if they're running different decks that happen to be the same color. Yeah.
Especially with Flick having the Behemoth there, I'm expecting a much more maybe aggressive deck with especially the Replicator there too. So we might be looking some sort of with a Fenrir there as well. I'm really expecting a more aggressive sort of deck from Flick, still in the at least 3 color. Whereas Sneaky looking much more like a more standard control deck. We're seeing airdrops, we're seeing liquidates. So yeah, it should be an interesting matchup between the I guess this is probably the quintessential RTLOL matchup. The slower control deck against the faster aggressive decks.
Yeah, and I think we've seen enough matches where it can be either player's game, but if push comes to shove, who would you give the advantage to with the information we've got available?
Oh, I mean, Sneaky's got such a powerful hand there, and yeah, just draws a Quantum Rogue there as well. So a lot of juicy cards. Having said that, like, the cards in Sneaky's hand do take a long time to get on, to sort of activate and sort of get everything up and running. Has a Zeal in hand, which only costs 4, but gets more powerful as you have more gems as the game progresses. So really a very late game hand, and yeah, if we have, I mean, yeah, a Rainigon there in hand now. If Flick can get all the right gems online, which that Leprechaun in hand definitely would help with.
Ooh, Shocktooth Tiger in Sneaky's hand. That's a big help if he stakes that. He can eliminate the replicator threat, because Zeal, unfortunately, with that Fenrir on, there's no guarantee it'll wipe out both the replicators, but staking that Shocktooth seems like a good play here, or at least playing it. Otherwise, okay, so he hasn't staked it. You're gonna have to, there we go. Otherwise, they can really get out of hand.
Prefers to develop the board there as opposed to just staking it away.
Yep. But that does power up the Fenrir. The fact that he's played that Shocktooth Tiger.
Really awkward spot here. It would be great to develop the board and play the Leprechaun, but that second green is going to be quite awkward. You don't really want to have to... I mean, if you stake a rainbow card, you can get the green from that, but unfortunately staking a rainbow card doesn't actually give you an activated gem, it gives you an inactive gem.
Yeah, depleted gem. So yeah, the only real play is the Behemoth here. He could have played the Tree Mage for some ramp, if he wanted to be a little bit greedier, but he's played it a bit safe and played the big boy instead.
Yeah, the safe route, probably the right play there. Means you can stake the Tree Mage next turn, develop the Leprechaun. Leprechauns obviously give you a rainbow recharge every turn, so great for developing a lot of different colors.
Okay, so what is the response here from Sneaky? Again, with the 70 HP on that Behemoth, if he stakes an orange card and plays the Zeal, he's probably going to kill the Fenrir, but there's a small chance that all of the shots miss.
I mean,
I'm not sure that there's...
Regulate.
You could regulate.
Regulate gets rid of it as well. But yeah, a lot of cards in hand with 2 pink as well, which is a little awkward with the current board.
Yeah, with 0 pink gems. Okay, it is the regulate. Meanwhile, we have Tree Mage and Replicator.
Yeah, another
Replicator. The Rainy gun up.
Yeah, it could definitely. 4, 5.
It's not quite there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down to only 3 cards for Flicks, versus almost a full hand for Sneaky.
Now, we obviously know that Flick has the Aurora in hand, ready to go next turn. Aurora obviously giving all of your minions additional power and HP for the rest of the game. Really will come down to if Sneaky doesn't answer that Replicator, they can really get out of control very, very quickly. Having a board full of 30 minions can be very, very powerful. The Zeal...
And it doesn't guarantee. Yeah. You get, what, 6 shots? You'd have to be pretty unlucky for none of them to get the Replicator, but it's not unheard of. He doesn't even play it. Okay.
So most likely the play here would be the Aurora, I would have to imagine.
Yep. He's got the 4 different colored gems. It's gonna give 80-80
as well.
Yeah. Okay. This is where some pressure gets applied, I think.
Yep. Aurora, obviously one of our classic ending cards that has not dominated the meta for a long time, but definitely has had a strong influence on it. That power boost, especially considering it's a persistent effect, that effect will last for the remainder of the game. Can definitely put a lot of pressure on and make it quite hard for the control decks to sort of catch up. Sneaky really just hoping to be able to develop or hold on now for that Quantum Rug. It's probably the best play.
He has to make it 3 more turns though at a minimum, so that's a big ask with 2 Replicators on the board, Aurora in play, backed up by a Behemoth and a Tree Mage. So he doesn't have a lot of answers in hand either. It might be the combination of Shocktooth and Zeal next turn. Yep. He's used the Energy Blast, I think, in preparation for that play.
Yeah, although airdrop into the Zeal now.
Oh, he's doing it now. There we go.
He's got to do it now. He can't wait much longer. But depending on where these shots go.
Oh, he's used all his orange gems. That might have been a misplay. He cannot follow up with a Shocktooth Tiger. Yeah, if he'd had enough gems for the Shocktooth, he could have cleared the board.
So obviously for those new to the Lords of Light, one of the big differences compared to say Hearthstone is we allow you to build decks with any of our 7 classes all in the one deck, so the 7 different colours, as you can see both these players taking full advantage of. The thing to keep in mind though is when you actually use your gems, the game will generally just try to use gems from left to right, but you can actually click on them to tell the game which gems you would like to use. So especially if you are running multiple color decks such as these decks, that can be a really important thing just to keep in mind. And now, with that Rainy Gun on the side...
There's the staked Shocktooth. Yeah, I'm sorry, he only had 2 orange. Zeal does cost 2, so he would have had to stake another orange in order to be able to play both.
Oh, sorry.
But, yeah, still Flix is applying the pressure, Sneaky a little bit up against the ropes, but getting ever closer to the Quantum Rug, which would... potentially turn the tide on its own. Is he gonna double blast the Rainy Gun? Looks like it, yep.
Yeah, you can't leave that on the board.
It's an efficient trade for Flix, given the reduced cost of Rainy Gun with all the different colors he's got. He effectively 2-for-1s the energy blasts from Sneaky. And he still has the replicators. Let's see. He needs that second yellow to play the Cyclops, so maybe it's stake the energy blast, play the diamond hands? No, he's holding up.
Yeah, Diamond Hands and Paper Hands, both very interesting for season cards. So seasons are cards that you play, they affect both sides of the board equally, and can only ever be one season in play. So if another player or yourself plays another season, it replaces the existing one. So Diamond Hands gives all minions plus 10 power, Paper Hands is minus 10 power. So very, very powerful cards when used correctly. They're more of a combat trick, so having those up your sleeve and being able to pull them out when a player's not expecting them can definitely turn the tide in your favor. And we're seeing here now
Another rainy gun.
Sneaky with a very, very powerful hand, but Flick with what's that, 170 out of 190 damage. So the diamond hand would actually be lethal.
Oh, time travel.
Time travel off the
That's
top is
draw.
huge though.
Yeah, that buys him time for the rug.
So this may, all of a sudden, even though Sneaky, having taken a lot of damage so far, you've almost got to sort of think the game has swung back in the control deck's favor. Now that they've got that sort of, or about to hit 10 gems, so a really critical number for a lot of the control cards to come online.
And this is where Flix has to be very careful about how much he commits to the board. He's gonna be assuming he sees 4 different colors on Sneaky's side, so he assumes he could have the Q-Rug in hand, and it would be a natural fit for a control deck. So he doesn't want to play too many things that could potentially all be eliminated with one card. By the same token, he needs to keep the pressure up. Otherwise, Sneaky has no reason to play the Q-Rug and can just develop on his own hand. So he plays 1 Replicator and the Rainy Gone. Basically, yeah, they were both banished. Time traveled last turn, which does not reduce their cost, unlike Banish. And his turn is done. What's the play from Sneaky?
So I have to take away a rainbow card, so we're not going to actually have the 10th gem this turn.
Play a Rugzilla or a Cronier. Cronier could kill the Replicator and stay on the board.
Yeah.
Rugzilla is protecting his life pool. He goes for the life pool play.
Neither really a great play. Neither is going to sort of catch you back up completely. But I would say here Sneaky is just trying to give Flick the opportunity to overextend. Just try and get the most value out of that Quantum Rug. And then the other side to look at it as well is the more minions that Quantum Rug actually destroys, the more it loses power and HP based on that. So this might even be a spot where Flick does want to try and fill the board completely. Just if they are trying to play around that Quantum Rug, at least that way when the rug comes down, it's not going to be as powerful as it would be otherwise.
That's where replicators come into play. For every replicator clone that gets destroyed, yeah, -10 can definitely take some of the punch out of the Quantum Rug. But it does still destroy the board, so play it here, you're basically getting, he commits the Cyclops as well. I don't know about that. I think it could have paid off if he didn't have the rug in hand. Maybe that's the gambit he's playing.
I mean, quite possibly, because Sneaky didn't play the rug last turn. Maybe you like Flick's playing under the assumption that it's not there. So
he's only drawn just over half his deck, so there was a very decent chance that he hadn't drawn the rug, and maybe Flick's just made the call that that's his best chance of winning the game. Unfortunately for Flick's, Sneaky's had it in his hand for quite some time, and I can't see him not playing it here. This is basically like a
the
4-for-1, 5-for-1, yeah.
I guess the other consideration is if Sneaky was playing Chat Rainy as opposed to Quantum Rug, having the Smoothie on board to defend against it, there's less lifesteal, you've got a full board to sort of swing through. So yeah, Flick obviously just needing to sort of catch back up here now.
I think also the interesting, I guess, factor with our best of 3 format that we run in tournaments, is that you cannot run any cards in both of your decks. It's a conquest format, which means if you win a game in the best of 3 match, you cannot play with that deck. You have to play with your second deck. So now that the Q-Rog has been played for this control deck that Sneaky's running, he cannot run it in his second deck after he wins a game. He has to switch, and Flix has that information that it's not going to come out. Conversely, Sneaky knows that Flix cannot run the Aurora in his second deck, so there's a bit of information here that will help future games for both players.
I mean, you can definitely see the power of Aurora. Flix board, you know, even after being wiped, you know, able to redevelop a pretty strong board.
Yeah, I mean, without Aurora, the Smoothie would 1-for-1 the Rug. With Aurora, it can take down the Rug thanks to its Thorns ability, which deals extra damage when it gets attacked, but survive with 20 HP, so makes things a little bit more complicated for Sneaky. Cronier, yep. However, the Thorns comes in, so that's going to be a 1-for-1. Unless he Lorem Ipsums it? He does, okay. So Lorem Ipsum gives all the good stuff basically. Pumped, Guardian, Force Field, and Lifesteal. However, yeah, interesting. That's a bit of a misplay because the Aurora gave Smoothie 20 power. Thorns resolves after the combat damage. So the power popped the shield, and then the 80 Thorns damage was enough to kill Cronier. Kind of threw away the Lorem Ipsum just for a bit of lifesteal there.
I mean, that lifesteal definitely, obviously we've got the benefit of seeing Flick's hand. That lifesteal very important here. Now that you know the Rug is out, is this the point where you just have to go for it? Drop, you know, stake a Replicator, drop the other one, drop the Cyclops.
I think so. What are you really playing against? So, do we have enough red gems on Sneaky's side for a crypto ban? That would be something to be mindful of. He chooses to hold back quite a bit. Actually, he must be fearing the crypto ban. So, in this case, he doesn't actually have it. So, it seems like he overcommitted and hoped that the Rug was not in hand when it was, and undercommitted. Yeah. Oh, both go face. That's unfortunate for Sneaky. That face damage does not do much in this spot. He really wanted to eliminate some threats and did not leave the orange open.
Draws a Replicator, but doesn't have the orange to play it.
Ouch.
120... Doesn't have lethal here, but can definitely put a lot of pressure.
You could do 160 with the diamond hands, take him down to 70 HP. You could drop the... Draws another Replicator. You get the Cyclops down to develop his board a bit. He's playing it safe, clearing the Elon. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, that Liquidate that Cyclops is looking like a juicy target for it at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure about the trades there. Generally, as the aggressive deck, it makes sense to try to take down your opponent as quickly as possible, because the longer the game draws out, the more the cumulative effect of the control player's advantage takes hold of the game. Replicators tend to drop off in the late game, so... And he's got a handful of them now.
Having said that, I mean, Replicators, when you've got, you know, the Aurora, you've got that sneaky diamond hands that it's been hung onto the whole way through.
Yeah. I mean, they are all susceptible to one crypto ban. I wonder if Sneaky is running any. I haven't seen any drawn yet. Regulate is not going to be enough. It will drop them to 2010s, basically.
even a Tree Mage, with the power of Aurora looking very, very strong.
Yeah.
And potentially, yeah, this is the point where Flick just has to just go for it.
Chooses. Oh, there's the crypto ban. He is running it.
But the Rainigon being down to 60 health, so can't fully take advantage of the board. There will be a full board clear for both sides. And again, Sneaky just nothing to follow up with here. So
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely
no minions in hand.
Definitely playing off the top. And again, when you are just playing off the top of the deck, normally that would favor the control deck, like in terms of this particular matchup. But again, that Aurora just can keep the pressure on.
I think also interesting play from Flicks in staking the diamond hands. One of the interesting things in RTLOL is if you decide that a card is not going to be impactful enough to be worth playing, you can always stake it. When you stake it, you get a gem of the same color and you redraw. So the main important thing is you're basically swapping it out for another card that could be more powerful. In Flick's case, it was another replicator. Yeah.
No, we see the
time travel instead. Interesting. I guess he wants to save his Rainigon, having no other minions in hand.
I mean, we saw this earlier with the Quantum Rug. Flick trying to just be a bit sneaky, I guess, to make a bad pun for this morning. And try to get as much value out of it as possible. Maybe hoping here that Flick will again overextend into it. But if Flick's smart and only overextends with the replicators, then maybe we're still in a good spot here. And again, with something like Behemoth, because of the Aurora in play, all of a sudden that's a 40-90 that's going to get stronger as friendly minions are killed. So potentially Behemoth, maybe another replicator here, just really, again, put that pressure on, and does kind of play around the crypto ban.
Absolutely. I'm just double checking. Did you tweet and post about the stream? It's probably worth doing now, if not.
Yeah, I tweeted about it before it started, yeah.
Perfect. But do we have the link in there? We do, right?
Yep.
Yep. Perfect. I'm just gonna put that on Telegram. Just go to.
So yeah, I've got the crypto ban in hand, but not the perfect board for it. Would almost need to crypto ban, airdrop, elemental blast to have a board clear. Or potentially rain. Ooh, it's not really. Flick definitely putting Sneaky in some very tough situations here.
Yeah. This is oh, there's the crypto ban. Not enough to kill the Behemoth, and the Behemoth will power up now with the death of his fallen comrades.
Will it be
the energy blast? Yeah, airdrop energy blast. Complete board clear.
So that's everything out of Sneaky's hand. So Flick now knowing that there's outside of whatever Sneaky can top deck, this is pretty much it. And honestly, dropping all 4 replicators right now feels like a pretty good play.
Absolutely. You know for a fact that Sneaky's only going to be drawing effectively 1 card a turn. He can seed 2 if his first draw is not one he wants to play. He can stake it for that cantrip redraw. But yeah, unless he draws another crypto ban. Kurog's been played, 1 crypto ban have been played. He's played 2 time travels, I believe. There's only so much that can answer a board chock full of replicators.
Plays 3, holds 1 back. Sneaky drawing the Satoshi Nakamoto. That's a pretty massive draw in this spot. Not only is that a really strong defender, gives you a full hand of recharge cards, so plenty of fuel there to keep staking to try to draw some more cards to answer Flick's offense.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a big draw. Okay. Yeah, okay, draws a Rainbow Lotus. That doesn't do a lot in this spot, but it does have the secondary ability that can, yeah, do a little bit of AoE damage to your opponent's minions and buff yours. But importantly, using the Orange Recharge staking ability to replace a depleted gem with a charged gem. That's a way you can kind of cheat out an additional gem charge on your turn. If you have a full gem tray of 12 gems, you stake another card, you can choose one gem to destroy. That gem can be depleted, so you've already used the charge, and then the new gem you create, if it's not a rainbow card you're staking, will be charged. So you can kind of get 13 gem charges in one turn. In any case, we have 4 replicators versus 2 very big minions. One with Guardian, so protecting those last 170 HP for the Sneaky's hero.
I wonder if the play here is actually to stake the replicator. Maybe
yeah.
Look to see what you can draw. Without knowing.
And play the Cyclops. He does do that. He could play both of these.
1 yellow short.
True, yeah.
Fenrir having lifesteal could actually come into play here, considering like Sneaky has 190 damage on board. All of a sudden that 270 that Flick is on is not looking like a super safe number.
It's a 20 power buff and a crypto ban away from death, actually, yeah. Plays the Cyclops instead. We have seen both players be quite conservative with a lot of trading on the board. Let's see if Sneaky is a bit more aggressive now and directs any of this damage to face. Yep. Playing Rainbow Lotus for that secondary ability. Staking an Orange Recharge, I imagine. Draws another Energy Blast.
So could blast away the Cyclops, could take out 2 of the replicators, but they're just going to keep coming.
Yeah, I think the play is attacking face with both minions and blasting the Cyclops. What do you reckon?
Yeah, put the clock on the opponent. It's not very often you get to do that as a control player, so it definitely feels like it'd be the right play. Running that clock out, but
he does exactly that. Okay.
Let's see what Flick can draw.
Demanding an answer.
So has it doesn't look like enough, and more importantly, with the board full of replicators, can't actually play another minion without killing something.
He needs to stake. Yeah, he needs to stake and hope for something off the top. Would Diamond Hands be enough? Not quite. No, he only has 4 minions that can attack. I think that's game.
That's going to be a huge behemoth when it gets through, but unfortunately, again, just not enough.
Has enough power ready to take down that Satoshi Nakamoto, but the no way to defend against the Rainigon swinging for lethal.
And that is game 1 going to Sneaky.
That was a good first game, actually. I'm glad to have kicked off the finals with that.
Yeah,
a lot of back and forth. It could have gone either way.
Very much the quintessential RTLOL game, the classic Aurora versus control deck matchup.
In this case, the game lasted long enough for control to win.
I mean, we've definitely seen with 7DS a shift towards the more aggressive decks. Gluttony, probably the surprise of the tournament, not making as big of an impact as a lot of people were predicting. Gluttony being the big meatball, the 9090 green minion costing 6 green gems.
Yeah, definitely. So as we were saying earlier, in our best of three conquest format, since Sneaky Shay won with his previous control deck, he has to use his second deck, which cannot feature any of the same cards. So we see the hero has changed as well, that you have to change the hero. We're seeing a lot of pink from Sneaky with paper hands. So it could be a combo deck with Kitsune there.
Yeah, looking much more like a typical control, or well, I guess one of the different flavors of control decks that a lot of players enjoy running in RTLOL. This particular one being the more combo-oriented Kitsune flavor, with Aurora as well.
Okay. So developing a Harpy Huntress.
And here we see, I guess from Flick side, that more aggressive deck.
Yeah. So there's no immediate answer for the replicators. They can just multiply and spam the board. One interesting play could be to wait for them to do so and play the paper hands, effectively removing their teeth and making them 0 power. But we do know that Flix has the Aurora and Diamond Hands and some other cards to counter that.
Having said that, that does slow the game right down, and obviously there's nothing stopping Flick from just, I guess, self-trading into the Harpy Huntress.
Chooses to develop the Banshees. Yep, and play the paper hands. There it is. And Flix does not have Aurora or Diamond Hands in hand, so yeah. His replicators are basically just taking up board space at this point, thanks to the power of the paper hands. That is one of the elements I like to observe in RTLOL specifically, is that instead of just vying for board control, also the struggle to vie for season control. If even though it affects both sides equally, you can see here that it disproportionately negatively affects Flix compared to Sneaky, so it's in his favor. And Flix could really stand to draw a Diamond Hands and turn that around, replace the paper hands. Okay. Flix developing the Fenrir. Sneaky chooses to kill one of the replicators. But the 3 remaining clone themselves and take up all available board space. One interesting point of difference for RTLOL compared to Hearthstone, for example, you're always able to attack, even if you have 0 power. So there's nothing stopping Flix from sort of sacrificing these replicators by running them into some of the opponent minions, as he's done there, to free up a bit of board space. And can get a bargain now. If he stakes one of the Cyclops, the other one will only cost 2 gems. Plays the Behemoth instead. Interesting. I guess
trade away a couple of replicators here, start pumping that up.
Yeah, makes sense to do so, right?
Yeah. Could even trade in
Fenrir
as well.
That works.
Banking everything on the Behemoth.
Does Sneaky have an answer? So, I believe Sneaky had Liquidate in his last deck. which would be an obvious answer for Behemoth in this spot. Because he ran it in the last deck, which won, it cannot be in this deck. So has to have some more creative answers. Energy Blast doesn't do enough damage to kill Behemoth in one card. But he could always, he chooses to develop the Wyvern instead. Now Wyvern, when it gains HP, it also gains power. So that's another snowball card. That's a big Behemoth. We are still 2 turns away from having enough gems to play Aurora. Flix also needs 1 more color. Aurora costing 4 rainbow. Gets the Rainy Gun. That can solve it. Going for another Behemoth. Yeah, wow.
There's obviously a 30-minute delay, but I'll just give a shout out to Jack Newman, who's watching on YouTube at the moment. Just so I guess he knows it's live. He's actually wondering if this is pre-recorded. It's not. The players are all on Discord and are playing out these matches at the moment. It's almost 7:40 AM here Sydney time. But yeah, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we are streaming with a 30-minute delay, just to make sure there's no advantage or disadvantage for any of our players.
Yeah, especially important to do so with such a big prize pool for this tournament. Our biggest ever. Breaking the record for Blue Moon's prize pool, breaking the record for a number of participants from last week. And that's thanks to the generous sponsorship of our great friends at Avalanche. Yeah, the gaming blockchain to be of the future. So big shout out to them, and thanks for helping us make this event as big as it has been so far. So we have 2 Behemoths versus a Pink Champion and some Harpy Huntress.
Interesting situation here. That one of those Behemoths is a Behemoth. Yeah, it's like, do you just go face?
150.
Like, yeah,
yeah, that's a big hit.
You always, do you just ignore the Pink Champion completely and just throw everything at the face, or Sneaky to be the one to make the trades?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of merit to that. That is the play that Flix opts for. What sort of answer does he have?
I mean, you can roll the dice with the Snow Leopard. There's a lot of good hits for that actually. Besides not to. Snow Leopard does 30 damage to a random target or enemy target on stake. Could have brought down the 70 health Behemoth down to range of the blast, could have brought the Rainy Gun down in range, could have killed the 150 power one.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 targets would have been very helpful there.
Instead decides to blast the stronger Behemoth, and
which makes the weaker one stronger.
And develop the Snow Leopard.
Okay, runs the Pink Champion into the full health Behemoth. Pink Champion having Force Field takes no damage. Definitely taking control back of the board, so it was a little bit costly to swing everything into face there, but yeah.
If I'm in Flick's position, I'm really tempted to just go wide here, drop the Cyclops, drop the Fenrir, and just swing face.
Absolutely.
Force your opponent, and then you've got the Aurora to answer it to follow that up next turn as well. It's very much a YOLO play, but
yeah. Alternatively, he could play the Aurora now, gets a little bit more damage and can take him down at 80, and then, you know, the earlier you play the Aurora, the more value you get out of it from your minions. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Cannot afford to play the Smoothie because he's only got the 1 green. He goes with the wide play. Yeah, I like that.
I think you swing face here. The conservative play will be taking out the champion.
Yeah, to protect the Cyclops.
Goes
Swings face.
Alright, let's see if Sneaky can answer this. Otherwise we could have a very quick game 2 on our hands.
Sneaky Ivan does not do a lot in this position. He's got the energy blast that can answer
You take out the
the
Fenrir.
Fenrir,
Yeah.
or it could combo with a Harpy to take out the Cyclops, or the Snow Leopard to take out the Rainigon.
Probably has to just stake away. Ooh.
One of the
Oh,
yeah, it's an awkward position.
Do you stake the? I was thinking, do you stake the Aurora? Oh, Black Swan.
He stakes the energy blast. That's the most proactive card. Wow.
Only has 3 colors
What?
as well, so it's
Yeah.
in a really awkward spot. Potentially has to stake
This could
the
be
Aurora
it.
next turn. Do you roll the dice? I guess you just have to roll the dice here. Black Swan
The problem
destroys
with
a
that
random
is
minion.
Yeah, but it deals damage to your hero equal to the HP of the minion destroyed. Like
Yeah.
it's
And can't answer the Rainigon. Goes for the Swan.
he does. He rolls the dice.
It hits. Oh, it hit the Rainigon.
Oh.
Wow.
Big hit. Now down to 20 HP. Has Flix got any reach in his deck? He's not running red, so there's no crypto ban. Doesn't have the overkill with pumped. How's he gonna get those last 20 points of damage in? That could have been a massive play there.
I almost think the play here is Aurora past the turn.
Yeah.
Like a replicator or
It
a
sacrifices
three-mage.
board control, but
But I mean, a replicator or yeah, there it is. A replicator or a 3-mage doesn't really do much here. So at least the Aurora gives you a stronger board presence in future turns, and you can just hope to rip something off the top. Yeah, stakes the Aurora, gets that 4th color. I mean, yeah, Ivan and
ooh, doubling the power of the Black Swan after it won that huge 50-50 and consumed the Rainigon. I mean, there's not a lot of cards that restore HP to your hero in RTLOL, but pink is the color that has Dorsey that can actually give 50 HP back. I think more importantly, if Flix has no cards that give him reach for that last 20 points of damage, it's just an inevitability thing now.
So there's a Rainigon, that's definitely gives you a stronger board presence, but I mean, Sneaky having 240 on the board right now. That paper hand's actually doing a lot of work here.
So interestingly, he also has a bull market in play. He could play bull market and swing for lethal next turn by removing paper hands' -10 power. If Flix does nothing, and he's got no cards with Guardian, he's got no cards with Pumped, he's got no spells to remove any minions. So I think this could be the end of Flix.
I mean, at least if you drop the Rainigon, Sneaky has to answer it.
You would think so. Flix does not know that Sneaky has the bull market in hand. Ah, yeah, he sees the lethal.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. GG.
And that is game.
Game, set, match. Congratulations, Sneaky. Well played. Wow, that was a nail biter. Both of those games could have gone either way. I think the pivotal point really seemed to be that Black Swan. So Sneaky traded away the board to give himself the best chance at a favorable Black Swan, and won that coin flip. I think if that hit his own minion, that game probably went the other way. Okay, so that is match one. I think from here we're gonna take a little bit of time just to wait for the quarterfinals to end. Let's see how many have ended or how many are still in play.
So just having a look on bluemint.com if people want to keep up to date with the bracket. So it looks like our first semi-final will be Mason Goss against Sneaky, and then the other one being Rage and Snow.
Okay. So, Mason being Ellie's partner, I'm guessing she's going to be live streaming that match. Therefore, we would be better off, yeah, streaming Rage and Snow. Let's get all four of us joining. Yeah?
I was going to say, do you want to get the observers to join the other game? So we've got footage of that too.
We can, yeah, sure. We're going to have the Ali streaming footage if she's streaming it, so it's much of a muchness. Okay, cool. I'll get Chloe to join the Mason Goss lobby. Let's join this one ourselves. Okay. Do you want to get Kat doing Mason Goss?
Yep.
I'll get Chloe on Sneaky. Yep.
Cool, we're just getting Rage to join the lobby now.
Okay, is Kat recording the
Yep.
Mason? Perfect. Then I think they're good to go. We can give them the green light. Chloe's recording too. Let's see if Rage has shown up. He obviously played his quarterfinal match yesterday, so I have to see if he's checked in anywhere. He is one of the AliCoin team members, right? Rage.
I believe we've actually got 4 AliCoin team members left.
Wow, that's that's insanely dominating. Well played, AliCoin. So I think for anyone wondering, we will be publishing the deck lists after the grand final is wrapped up. With a lot of these players playing the same or similar decks, having trained with each other, and making it to the final four, I think this is probably a good reference point for people who are trying to decide on which decks are quite powerful in the current meta. So make sure you check them out, see if there's anything that you'd want to change to add your own twist, and experiment from there. Obviously, the meta changes on a day-by-day basis as we make updates and patches to balance things and, release some new cards. But yeah, this is a really good starting point, I think.
And then obviously you get into that sort of scissors, paper, rock style thought process where if these are the dominant decks in the meta, do you play these decks or do you play something specifically tuned against these decks?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just waiting on Rage to join the lobby. Not sure if we can get someone to reach out.
It's gonna be awkward if we have to disqualify Rage for not showing up for the semi-finals, isn't it?
Yeah, after he generously offered to do his quarterfinals a day early. I mean, he did know that the rest of the matches would be played at the normal time, right? So I can see that the other semifinals are up and running. We are capturing that footage to edit and upload to the YouTube channel later. So for anyone tuning in now, don't worry, you will see both semifinals, or if Rage doesn't show up, it might be the only one before we progress into the grand finals. But yeah, we are making good time today. It's a lot easier to run a tournament with 6 to 8 people than it is 207. Who'd have thought? So I think we can give Rage a bit longer, especially because the stakes are high and it's quite a meaningful thing. But we'll have no choice but to disqualify him if he doesn't show up, within the next 10 to 15 minutes, I would say. Do we have any other way of getting in touch with the AliCoin team than Discord?
I've sent Ali a DM and I'm pinging Rage now.
Yeah.
Hopefully they haven't like slept through an alarm or something.
I mean, I imagine they're probably American, right? So.
I mean, if you're on gamer hours.
Good point. In that case, we're just going to have a grand final of Mason or Sneaky versus Snowmo if Rage does not show up. I suppose the Ready Player DAO guys won't have direct contact with Rage either. It's all done through Ali, right?
Yep. Apologies to everyone tuning in. We're trying to find our player, so hopefully we can track them down.
Just gonna go check on the status of the other game. I think, yeah, if that one wraps up before Rage shows up, then we're just gonna have to DQ him.
Yeah. For everyone watching, we're doing everything we can at the moment just to try and get in touch with Rage. Yeah, it's one of the unfortunate part of online tournaments is when you've got a global community, sometimes it can be quite hard to organise times that suit everyone. And unfortunately, this isn't because we're streaming with a 30-minute delay. I can't even chat to everyone in chat. I can say hello to everyone though, at least. So,
Yeah,
to
I mean,
Gaming, Grandma Bird, Benjamin Page, Ash Hole. A lot of people tuning in and watching, and obviously a shout out to everyone over on Ali's stream at the moment as well. Where
should we ask Mason and Sneaky to get out of their best of 3 after the first game, and then just play the last games so we can stream that? It's one option.
I mean, I'd rather not if we can avoid it. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, just for anyone who's just tuning in, we've reached the semi-finals. There's 4 players left in our Avalanche x RTLOL Championship, and we are trying to track down one of our players who unfortunately hasn't shown up for his semi-final match. And yeah, one of the other players has messaged him and he's not answering telephone, Discord, or text.
Well. Can you raid Ali Straza or something?
I've messaged Ali as well.
No, but as in just so people have something to watch while we're waiting.
Oh yeah, of course, I can do that. Give me a sec. There you go, let's listen in on some of Ali's commentary. So this, I believe, is game 1 of the other semi-final match, Mason Goss and Sneaky.
Alright. Oh man, this is gonna be a control mirror. They're both playing the exact same deck. This is gonna be intense. Okay.
So we're streaming with a 30-minute delay, and we're watching Ali,
Here's the thing,
who's
like,
streaming with a 10-minute delay.
I don't even know how you, like, when it's a control matchup, the exact same deck, I guess it's just gonna, like, the thing with this deck is,
yeah, to be honest, guys,
truly don't even know how you play
you might
this,
just want to jump onto Ali's stream directly. We will ping.
There are so many answers in this deck. I mean, you can see right now, this is an answer, this is an answer,
Raid
this is an answer.
shows up
this
for
is
the
a
semi-final
bounce,
match,
vanish, right?
or
This is
when we're
basically
ready
an answer.
to
It's later
stream
in
the
the game.
grand
So
final.
if Alex were to develop a Rainigon here,
But
there's
for
no
anyone who
world
just
where
wants to
Mason
sit
doesn't
back,
have
we're happy
an answer
to
it,
chill
right?
with you
So
here.
it's just going to be this, like, oh, that was really
I just
good,
need
though.
to
Honestly, getting
one of
that
these
early 4
2
drop
great
down.
new video editors to edit the
but
stream footage afterwards to
I
cut
feel
this,
like it's just
boring bit in the middle.
gonna come down to, like, I guess it's who uses their resources better. I don't know. I said, because I just think that every single threat that either person is going to develop is going to be able to be answered. However, maybe it comes down to whoever gets their rug down, because Rugzilla can't be targeted by spells, or I mean, you could still answer a Rugzilla with this. You can, this deck plays a Quantum Rug, which is a 4-color, 10-cost, destroy all minions. So that will answer a Rugzilla. So maybe it's whoever like holds on to their Quantum Rug longest, or maybe bounces their Quantum Rug back. Like you can Quantum Rug, airdrop, time travel, get another one back to your hand. Like I don't know. Let's see. They both have good mana distribution. Sometimes like, oh wow. Okay, Alex is going to smoke. Maybe the way to play this is fast then, and to like not let the other person find the answers. Okay, he's gonna burn. Oh my god. Okay, that wasn't the end of the world. Ooh, that's another way to maybe get an edge here, is like you use your cards like Mason just did, the time travel there, to burn your opponent, and like maybe they burn their Quantum Rug or their Rugzilla, one of their like bombs in the deck, and then you're down a bomb. That's a interesting way to approach it. I don't know how often, like how consistently you could get that off, but something to think about. Elon here deals 50 damage to, oh my god! Another shot at a burn. Oh my god, Mason's just going for it. He's going for it. He's using his time travels aggressively. I love it. I love this. I love this play, Mason. What's it gonna be? No. Not really. Like, you want to be hitting the really impactful stuff, but like, still he's burning resources though. Which is smart. Yeah, Elon here does 100 damage. It hits two things separately, 50 damage each. Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of Rage. I think Rage is in Amsterdam right now. Playing his needs to play his semifinals match. Okay. Sorry, distracted. What did I miss? Okay. So Alex definitely needs to get some red online for the Elon and the Crony, and he's only got 2 crystals spots left. He's sort of in this like awkward position. Okay, so you can shoot that and trade. You could play Satoshi and then refresh. I don't know if you want a Satoshi with such a full hand though. And that would be yeah, I mean, I like it though.
Yeah, wow. So apparently the other semi-final
Interesting.
that is currently underway is
Very
still on game one.
interesting. Okay, so he decided to go for the
Yeah,
Zeal
it's a full-on
instead of
control on
just
control
the trade
matchup.
and shoot,
So
which
yeah,
I actually think
interesting
was really good because
Yeah,
you got to keep this minion
going
and
all
this
the way
minion's,
to
like, doing some
exhaustion, I
work.
believe.
Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of Rage. He's not checking in. Okay. Well, you could just liquidate. I'm definitely gonna give him a lot of health. See, that's the thing. It's like, because liquidates are in this deck, I feel like the poke damage that you get is like sort of negligible, because then you wind up just like giving them the health back. But okay. Okay, that was clutch to pick up a blast here, because like you really, I think, want access to these red cards. So you're gonna have to replace some of your existing mana crystals with some red. Wish I could see Mason's hand. So here's the card that I was referring to earlier, Quantum Rug. On play, destroy all of the minions, but it loses attack and health based on every minion destroyed. But you really don't want to throw that out like proactively, right? So, like, I think Mason's sort of just in the position where, like, if he throws down a threat, it's probably just gonna get answered. Happy I'm not playing this matchup, honestly. I think it's hard to, like, just know how to use your resources here when it's like this, when it's the exact same deck. So again, we could go for the Quantum Rug. Yeah, I think that just going for it though, it's like throwing your resource in too much. Like, then he's just going to answer the Quantum Rug super easy, and then you're out his, and Mason still has his, right? So I think just liquidating it is, I guess, is right. Could throw out this little 3-2. Yeah. I will say though that like, well, this has pumped, so it's an 80-80 with attack, right? So this is an answer. This is sort of an answer, but I'd probably want to be throwing this face if I could. And this is an answer, so I guess he still has answers to some stuff coming down here. You could go for Lucky Elon. Imagine if it goes face-face. Okay. It's time travel in the hand. You could get your Elon back to your hand. But Mason's gonna liquidate it. Okay. See what I mean? It's like then they're just wind up getting back up to full.
Tetris? Tetris. 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 It's the perfect game.
At Origin, good value never stops. Get 12 months of Paramount Plus when you sign up to any Origin internet plan. Plus, save $180 over 12 months on internet when you bundle it with Energy.
So, because I'm using a browser
McDelivery has arrived on the My Macca's app. Now getting Macca's delivered is a whole lot more rewarding. Value means more at Macca's. Earn points and redeem rewards with your McDelivery order, only on the My Macca's app.
Okay. How many cards left? That's probably pretty relevant. Ooh. See, straight up, maybe this just like comes down to fatigue. I mean, it was gonna come down to fatigue anyway, but I'm saying more like literally the exact fatigue damage, like 7 to 10 cards. That's fairly significant. Mason still got a lot of cards in his hand, meaning still a lot of resources. So I personally, yeah, I'd be passing. I don't really just want to put my crony down and put all my value cards. Did Mason just pass back? Oh my god! And then Alex just passed back. Eventually, you're gonna have to play something so you don't burn. But yeah. Yep. Okay. Riveting gameplay, guys. Okay, I think Mason might be at full. He's at 10, so he's gonna have to play something here. Oh, he's just got a gem. Oh my god, I can hear them giggling upstairs. He's healthier than Mason, though, so maybe that makes a difference. Oh my god. That's so funny, I can literally just hear them giggling. Okay. Is this full? Yeah, this is 9, so he technically could pass one more time if needed to. This is cool because Lorem Ipsum is basically like Chad Rainey, right? So it gives a minion pumped Guardian Force Field Lifesteal, so he could do that to this, which is cool because it's like basically a Chad Rainey. Yeah, he's got one more pass back. Only 2 cards left in the deck. Mason's got 5. He's probably out of orange gems at this point. That would be my guess. Ooh, interesting. I mean, yeah, he's kind of just has to throw something out there. That's fine. Throw out the Gensler. Okay, there's the Rugzilla. So... Again, Rugzilla can't be targeted by spells, but I don't think that Mason has played Zeal yet, and Zeal would answer this. So that's pretty clutch, because as soon as Mason plays, well, here's the thing, Rugzilla, or not Rugzilla, sorry, Quantum Rug can answer his Rugzilla. So this is, he also, this doesn't quite answer Rugzilla. If this whole tournament gets stopped because Rage doesn't show up, that would be unfortunate. We shall see. Alright, well, Alex is taking fatigue. Mason's probably only got 2 cards left. But again, he's less health already, so... But fatigue definitely starts to stack. Interesting. I don't know how many airdrops he has left, but I like the idea of holding on to an airdrop, because if you needed to like Quantum Rug bank, oh, I guess there's nothing, and then airdrop and then time travel it to your hand, but he used a lot of his time travels really aggressively in the game. Maybe he doesn't have any left. Oh my god. Alright, so maybe this is the turn you Rainy Gone and Lorem Ipsum? Or you could just Crony. Okay. Yeah, again, I agree. I guess you don't really want to be throwing out your threats, like eventually. Jeez. Okay, so now Mason's starting to fatigue. I think Alex just loses to fatigue here. Right? He's gonna be taking 60? It's just I think that's just too much. But I don't know. Yeah, alright. Well, at least with the double blast there, like instead of a liquidate, Mason did give him any more health. Yeah, see, now, basically Mason just, I think Mason just takes it, right? Because he just has to sit back and... Okay, or... Wait, what? Wait, what just happened? Oh my god, he liquidated his own minion! That 200 IQ! Oh my god. That was really clever, Alex. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be good enough, but it was clever. He's gonna be taking 80? Mason's probably taking, what, 30 or something? 40? 40? Yeah. I don't know if Mason has more liquidates yet, or like Rainy Gons, but he could steal that play. Yeah, that's 80. So he's got 2 turns left, and he has no minion to Lorem Ipsum anymore. But Mason was never gonna play a minion for him to Lorem Ipsum into, so playing the Rainy Gon for health. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, GG's. Yeah, that's oh, but the exact too. Actually, no, it's not exact, but it just calculates it that way. Okay, well, GG's Mason. Game 1 goes to him. Yeah, I mean, like, I said it. I'm like, the middle of the game, I feel like hardly matters. It just comes down to those fatigues. Honestly, Alex's, the problem was he just was too many cards deep, so fatigue got him. So that would be like choosing not to bank. I think it just comes down to, like, you know, normally you want to be cycling your cards and stuff like that. So, you know, in that control matchup, it's good to do it early, but maybe Mason just decided not to stake at a certain point. So, oh man. So it is conquest format. You have to win with all of your decks. So even though Alex lost that, he could have rolled the deck again. He's going to have to. If he wins this, he'll have to run that control deck again. So... Okay, so you need to stake a pink in order to get the 3-drop down. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, I feel like these games can just really come down to 50-50s like that. Like, if he hits that there, the 30 damage hits the minion, he's in such a good spot. He decides to take the trade because feels like, you know, if Alex plays the Snow Leopard there and hits the 50-50, then he'd be... That's what happened to me in my games. I lost so many of these Snow Leopard hits. It was very tilting. So you gotta like make plays that are gonna maximize your RNG. I mean, this is... Oh. Interesting. Okay, yeah. Double cat, I like it. The other play was to just get the 5 drop down. Like this thing right over here. And then stake the 3. He wound up staking the 3 anyway for it to give the extra health, but he went for the double ping here, which maybe it was right. Like, just go full on the cap, but I definitely think that the stats is nice, so I'm not sure. We're just gonna time that person out. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, he's smorking. Smorking like a madman. Honestly, maybe smork is the way, though. Okay. is definitely stake to spawn. Okay. Ooh, interesting. There is definitely there are enough gems. Person that called me out for calling them crystals. Okay, gems, crystals is there is enough to get the Aurora down here. So we've got blue, purple, pink, and we could either stake this or stake this to have the 4 colors for the Aurora here. So it's nice that Alex can get that down. There's no other way to buff up the Kitsune. I would be looking to probably copy one of like the 70-50 perhaps with the 4-mana spell here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Alex's hand is looking real good. Real good. So I'm a little nervous for Mason right now. He's definitely on the back foot. He's the one who's smorking. Actually, this might just come down to Alex taking it. If Mason loses this and Alex gets to run the control deck into this list, the control deck almost certainly wins. So Mason really needs to not lose this. You could stake the green or the red and get the Aurora down. It's a very slow play though. The Rainy in the hand is giving me like heart palpitations. Like Mason's gonna have to retaliate Rainy if the Rainy comes down. My worry though is that if you just Aurora here, you're giving up way too much. Like tempo. Oh my god. You can only... Oh my god. 50, 60, 70. He's actually just dead. If he answers the 70-50, and then the Aurora and the 5/6 lives on the board, he can just Aurora for the attack and kill him at 70. He needs to play... Mason needs to play Dorsey. Oh my god, he had the blast. He had the blast. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't play that. Oh, okay. Alright. I mean, yeah. So stressed right now. This actually just might be enough. Mason's board presence here. The next turn you can Rainy, but like everything else feels really bad right now. Like you can left 2. That's not good enough. Like these 2 cards right here, 5 and 4. I mean, I'd probably start out by staking something. How much damage is on the board right now? We've got 12, 19, 24, 240. I'm so stressed out right now. They've gone real quiet upstairs. They were laughing at each other in the early game. I mean, oh my god. I mean, he's got to clear everything. Oh my god. Is that lethal? I counted 24, so that's 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Is that exact lethal? 27. 29. Oh, he couldn't attack with the 90-90 actually. Or no, he could. Am I crazy? Or did he miss lethal? Am I mathing wrong? Wow. Okay, maybe it's very possible I mathed wrong there. Oh my god.
Alrighty.
Alright, so we have our grand final.
Wow.
Looks like it'll
yeah,
be,
okay, so, I mean, it was
Mason
looking like, I mean, Alex
Snow.
was being super aggressive.
So we'll leave.
It almost looked like
Ali's
Mason
stream
might.
there. And we'll get ready to go. So this will be our grand final between Mason and Snow, both members of Team Alicoin. So we know they're running identical decks in this case. So it'll just literally come down to who can pilot these decks better.
Is account recording? I believe Chloe is now.
Yep, all the recordings are good to go.
Okay. Whenever they start. Okay. I think it might be another 5 minutes.
In the meantime, we can definitely have a sneaky look at some deck lists and I guess see what each player is running. Obviously we're on a 30-minute delay, so it's not going to influence the match at all. There you are, I've just sent you the deck lists on Telegram. So, we've seen from the game so far that both these players are running a very traditional control deck, 4-color control, and then a pink-purple Kitsune deck. So actually overlapping on the on some of the colors. Obviously pink and purple, very traditional control colors in RTLOL. So if you are going for that slower, more control matchup. Very, very popular colors. And then obviously that other more aggressive deck, the red-yellow, packed with all the good stuff. Rainy Gons, airdrops, liquidates in there as well. So definitely willing to push a more aggressive strategy there with that other deck. And time travels as well, actually. You don't often see those in the more control-oriented decks. Oh, sorry, the more aggressive sort of decks. So, for everyone just tuning in, we are up to our grand finals of our $10,000 guarantee event. And we do have Mason and Snow, two members of Team Alicoin, who have made it through to our finals today. We're just getting everything set up for the grand final. So, and obviously we are streaming it with a 30-minute delay as well. So we have played out our quarterfinals and semifinals. Unfortunately, Rage, despite our best efforts to get in touch, didn't show up for today's semi-final matchup. So unfortunately has been disqualified, probably isn't the right word, but Snow obviously has advanced from that particular game. We will obviously, if possible, we might even try and set up a Snow Rage exhibition match at some point in the future.
Yeah, unfortunate that we weren't able to reach out to him, but especially after he went out of his way to do the quarterfinal match early for his opponent Meepo, who couldn't make it easily today. But yeah, I think it was pretty clear that we needed him back for the remaining finals games. So hopefully nothing serious has happened and he's okay. And then, yeah, if we can get that exhibition match recorded and uploaded later, then we get a bit of bonus later.
I mean, for what some of the players were mentioning, I believe Rage is in Amsterdam right now. So, as you said, hopefully nothing bad happening there, but could also just be enjoying the Amsterdam nightlife and lost track of time potentially. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, hopefully we can set up an exhibition match with Snow and Rage at some point down the road. Give Rage a chance to play on stream.
I believe we should be ready to go shortly.
Yep, so we're just getting the final recordings all set up. Players are all in the lobby. Yep, I think we're about to be good to go now.
Here we go.
So we've got our, let's see, so Mason's playing the control deck. Snow is running, I believe that's the more aggressive of the two decks that these players have prepared for this event. As we mentioned, both these players are members of Team Alicoin, so they obviously have prepared prior to this event together. And I guess, yeah, if you've got two players running the same decks, this just purely comes down to a skill matchup. So definitely an interesting way to close out our Avalanche RTLOL Championship.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any duplication across the cards, so they're definitely playing different decks, is that right? Let me just double check. Actually, no, we see Liquidate for both players, so it looks like it's going to be a control versus control matchup.
Yeah, with the rug in Mason's hand there as well.
Okay, so we see Snow being the first one to try to develop some board control, but with a very weak minion. Might be able to chip away at that health pool if it sticks, get a little bit of an advantage.
Interesting difference in playstyle, Snow, compared to some of the earlier matches we've watched today, playing much quicker. I guess either knows the matchup very well, or is trying to put that extra pressure on his opponent.
Okay. Gets a regulate for the Shock Tooth after getting some damage in.
Do you throw away an Energy Blast here, knowing how important they are in this matchup? Throws the Time Travel
No,
instead.
Time Travel instead. Yeah, I believe Time Travel is just kind of like a delay, but then if it goes to super late game, then you can kind of Time Travel a minion with a full hand and burn a card.
Yeah, I know I saw players running similar decks in our regular rounds last week who were using like Quantum Rug, Airdrop, Time Travel to try and get more value out of the Quantum Rugs. I guess probably not as important in this sort of control on control matchup. Probably much more about trying to stick the big minions and get as much value out of them as possible.
Interestingly, Snow doesn't have the second pink for the Liquidate here. So would have to use an Energy Blast plus Shock Tooth if he wants to remove this.
Maybe
he could develop his own Rainigon.
Could also use the Crypto Ban to trade it away.
Sure.
Yeah, when you're almost like an aggressive matchup, probably not as much value in the Crypto Ban. There it is.
There you go. I suppose just because playing the Energy Blast there was no follow-up play, so it wasn't very gem efficient. Fenrir intentionally choosing to play smaller minions. I guess trying to bait out some of the removals so that the bigger minions, yeah, can actually get the work done later.
I mean, you could just use another Crypto Ban here. But it's also putting yourself in an interesting spot in terms of life. Energy Blast instead.
Mason with quite a few minions he could play here.
Those are the Rainigon.
And choosing not to stake already, wow.
Yeah, definitely understanding this probably could be a matchup that goes to attrition. Or exhaustion, I should say.
Yeah. It's interesting though, you don't often see someone choosing not to stake with only 8 gems in their tray. Doesn't have enough to play the Q-Rog in hand. Or the Elon, even the Rogzilla because he's only got the 2 orange. But I suppose he's retaining the option to stake later if he wants to get one of them online. There's not much pressure now, so there's no urgency to be developing your gem tray. Liquidate.
Mason's still in an awkward spot there with only one pink gem. Has 2 Liquidates in hand. There's the other pink card he's probably looking for. Again, in this sort of matchup where Liquidate's such a powerful card, you really don't want to be staking a Liquidate just to play the other one.
This game of chicken here.
Yeah. Both players with 18 cards left in the deck.
Yeah, looking like a similar match to the semi-final between Mason and Sneaky. There's actually a lot of thought that goes into which cards to play, when to play them. Both of them very reluctant to give up any card advantage. But with a full hand, if you're not playing something, then you're going to be overdrawing and burning cards. Which is the position we see Mason in now. He has to play something here. Throwing away the airdrop. And passing. For anyone familiar with Magic the Gathering, this feels similar to like a blue counterspell mirror match sort of thing, where both players are just kind of passing the turn and waiting for the first one to throw something out there and make a misplay.
Burns the regulate just to get it out of the hand.
Yep.
Burns a energy blast there too. Neither player really wanting to develop their board first. Plays the Rainy Gun, doesn't wait until next turn where they might be able to play the Lorem Ipsum with it as well.
I suppose fearful of the liquidates. Doesn't want to get 2-for-1'd. Yeah.
But it needs to draw those liquidates out.
Here we go. Snow does the Raining Gun with Lorem Ipsum play instead.
So gets the trade, gets back to the last field at 420. Mason and liquidate as well. Mason with a 1-card advantage at the moment, just for...
I think this might be the difference in the deck, right? You're saying that Snow runs Fire Elemental, whereas Mason doesn't? Fire Elemental is a large minion. Draws out a Liquidate. So bearing in mind that each player can only have 4 Liquidates in their deck, this is going to be a big test of memory, or or seeing if either player has like a pen and paper or notepad open just to keep track of what's being played. Obviously with RTLOL still in beta, we don't have deck trackers widely available, so yeah, in a matchup like this where it's a long game of control, attrition, potentially exhaustion, it's really important to keep track of what you've played, what you've staked, what your opponent has played and staked, just to know what responses and threats are still left in both decks.
So we see now Mason starting to develop a board. A lot of answers in Snow's hand. Can't use the liquidate though, obviously. Goes with the time travel instead.
Yeah, with Rogzilla being untargetable by spells and abilities. The time travel also triggered an overdraw there.
sometimes even that one card advantage could be enough to turn the game.
Yeah. It was a Fenrir that got...
Rainigon, obviously one of the more iconic cards in RTLOL, that gets cheaper based on how many different color gems you have, so encourages players to play rainbow decks, or just as many different colors as possible. Most players, when running some form of rainbow deck, usually try to build around 3 or 4 colors. 4 obviously being that important number that turns on a lot of cards like Quantum Rug, Chad Rainey, Aurora, Lorem Ipsum. Although some players are also trying to go with the full 7, which gives you access to cards like the Rainbow Champion and the 7 Deadly Sins Mythic as well. Interesting, plays the Rainbow Lotus to get a gem. Drops the Rug as well, so we'll have a 90-90 Rug in play. Obviously this not being a card you would ever want to time travel, and not really want to liquidate here either. A lot of options in Snow's hands. Could Crypto Ban into Energy Blast, could just Rug themselves.
Could roll the dice with Elon, try to get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rug on rug action.
Again, Mason not wanting to play the time travel here. Actually doesn't have a lot of great answers.
Look at Zeal, but then Zeal being a legendary card, max 1 per deck, means it's unavailable for the opponent's Rugzillers if he has one.
So she just puts up the defender.
Yeah. Lorem Ipsum to clear the rug. I guess the fear of leaving the rug on the board is that the opponent could time travel it.
Yeah, true. I mean, if you're gonna play around the time travel, having a Satoshi on board is not a bad way to do so. So there's that last liquidate out of the way. Both players with 7 cards left in their deck. Again, in that sort of awkward spot where you're not really sure.
Yeah, you don't want to be over-responding. Shocktooth is not a big threat, but also if it doesn't get answered, then it'll just chip away at your HP, which could make the difference in exhaustion. Yeah, if this game gets to the point where one or both players have no cards left in their deck, they will progressively take more and more damage with every time they try to draw from an empty deck. So, a familiar mechanic for many who have played Hearthstone, but it does look like this is where the game is headed. Responds with the Cronje. I like that because it leaves a big minion on the board. And the Crypto Ban in response. Who do you think has the advantage here, Marty?
It's still really close, but I mean, if I was in Snow's seat right now, I'm super tempted just to drop the Elon and click it back. Try to go a little bit wide instead. You know the rugs are out of the way now, and as you get close to exhaustion... Oh sorry, there is a liquidate. Mason just drew the liquidate there. I thought they were all gone.
Liquidate, but yeah, Rugzilla being untargetable by spells can only really liquidate the Fenrir.
I mean, is this just a time travel spot then?
Yeah, it could be.
Obviously, if there is a world where Mason can drop the Elon and then have it stick to be able to time travel the following turn to be able to play.
Frontier instead. Does he get an energy blast the Fenrir? He does. Full board play.
Flicks it back. Clicks it back.
Only a few cards left each. It's completely neck and neck. Who has the bigger threats? We have Satoshi Nakamoto and Elon for Snow. We have Rugzilla, Elon for Mason.
I mean, yeah, if either player can drop and then bounce the Elon, would be a huge advantage.
So another interesting play possibility, which I believe came out in the semifinals, is in a game of exhaustion, considering liquidating your own big minion just for the heal. Can buy you a bit of extra time, but that's effectively destroying 2 of your own cards just for a bit of HP gain, so it's a big sacrifice. We'll see if there's any sort of creative plays like that come into the equation.
There's the time travel.
Just to make hand room, I believe. Ooh, burn a card.
Both players have 2 cards left in the deck.
Okay, Snow is officially deck free.
So in terms of threats, Elon, Satoshi,
And a Fenrir.
potentially the crypto ban comes into play if they really start getting down in health. Satoshi obviously just decides to go white.
Yeah, interesting. I guess with Rog played, the only other wide response is time travel and crypto ban. Mason has no more crypto bans, just 1 time travel left. Everything else is kind of like a single target. Zeal can get there, but it's very risky.
So Zeal here. Yeah, that clears.
It has to be comboed with the energy blast, yeah.
I mean, that liquidates Mason's hand. I just really don't want to play that now. So it's almost just a dead card. Quite awkward to give your opponent that much health.
Okay, so we have all of the cards that will be featured in this game, either played or in hand. The only threat that Snow has left is Elon. There it is.
So that puts 100 damage to face, right off the board. You don't want to really liquidate it. But I mean, can always just answer it with 2 blasts potentially.
Yep.
Don't think you want to roll. Potentially Elon into airdrop into time travel would be an answer. Still has that play up his sleeve for next turn potentially. Or could just airdrop into Elon now. Oh, holds back.
Snow has no more proactive cards. The only damage he can deal is exhaustion. Mason with 2 big minions, but less responses.
I feel you have to make the Elon play here. Elon airdrop time travel.
Yeah. I mean, we do have the benefit of knowing Snow's hand. We got to see how good a job Mason has done of keeping track of the cards that he's seen.
Potentially also just Elon airdrop Elon with 200 to face. Decides to wait.
He might be waiting for the unexpected win. Lull Snow into thinking he's got more time than he does.
I mean, he has lethal here. Snow's up to 40 exhaustion damage. Yeah. Lethal.
He doesn't have enough gems to... Oh, what's his exhaustion, sorry?
I believe Snow's at 40, so I think this is exact lethal.
He can't afford to replay it, though.
No, we can hold it to next turn.
Yeah. That's GG. Mason is showing some dominance in the control versus control matchup. Across the semi-finals and now the grand finals.
Yep, so that's going to be
Seems to have the... Yeah. Well played, Mason. Okay. And now Mason is locked out from using the control deck. Whereas Snow has the benefit of choosing either. Snow sticking with control. So it looks like we're going to have the deck we just saw a mirror match of versus Mason steering a pink-blue combo control. Let's put some purple in there as well from the looks of it. And some red. So another 4-color control, just with a different flavor. Swapping out the orange for blue, keeping the pink, red, purple, but obviously changing all of the cards. Can't have any duplicates.
So this one being, I guess, the more traditional of the control matchups, or at least the Kitsune flavor, which I know we've seen in previous tournaments. Kitsune in particular being one of Huncho's most used cards. We've seen that a fair few times from him.
Okay. So you could play the Harpy Huntress to buff the Snow Leopard out of range. But actually that would give the Fenrir some power. Does that in hits face anyway. Snow getting some lifesteal back. Mason developing the Wyvern. Yeah, Snow really needs to answer that, otherwise it can just grow out of range of Energy Blast. With all the plus HP stuff.
Do you give the advantage to the pink Kitsune deck here, or the more traditional control deck?
I feel like in a pinch, the traditional control would have an advantage. It just has so many ways to respond to anything that the pink deck tries to develop. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, we know the pink deck's running Snow Leopard, which is such a huge card. Especially for a common as well. Obviously, an important part of RTLOL's design is making sure that there's viable cards across all the rarities. Snow Leopard being one of the more powerful cards. Mason going face here, trying to put the pressure on, I guess. Snow without many great answers. Unfortunately, he's missing that second orange gem for Zeal. Obviously, this being the risk you run when you have 3 or 4 color decks. Sometimes you won't quite have the colors that you need when you need them.
Uses the Lorem Ipsum on the Fenrir.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow,
Triple trade.
that was
did.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Mace now, if he wants, has a perfect Black Swan. Could Ivan and trade? It's a bit weird for an early Ivan.
Chooses to develop his board instead, leaving the Fenrir up and powering him up actually by playing a couple minions. The Crypto Van in response.
Having access to board clear like that, and I mean having the Quantum Rug in hand as well, I guess is why you've sort of got to give the advantage in this matchup to the more traditional control deck. Which theoretically means we're going to see a Kitsune on Kitsune rubber match if we get that far.
Yeah, I mean it's not over. Mason did manage to 2-0 in the semifinals. So one with the Kitsune deck versus Control definitely can be done.
Snow getting that 2-for-1 with the Quantum Rug.
Yeah, but Mason has the Chad Rainey in response. There it is.
Mason again choosing not to stake there.
In the battle of the mythic minions, whoever plays their minion last tends to come out ahead.
Yeah. I can't imagine a better liquidate target than that.
Yeah. Okay, Mason without much gas left. Ivan on its own, more of a combo card than a powerhouse. And then a Nifty with no powerful minions to target.
I mean, Kitsune into Nifty is not bad. Stakes the way though. It's a rough.
Do you just play the naked Ivan here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
One of the few times you see an Ivan just being played purely for its stat line.
I feel like I've seen it many times in the tournament now. It's just the meta seems to be revolving around board clears and always responding to your opponent. So it's very hard to find an opportunity to play a 6 gem cost on a minion target. That can actually attack. You kind of have to have the advantage.
You can definitely, I mean, Nifty the Rainigon is pretty strong.
Yeah.
There's not many better
That's a good
targets
play
than that.
for sure. Given that Nifty can't target icons like all the crypto legends.
Do you just play out the Snow Leopard here? Just
Yeah.
hope your opponent doesn't have another crypto ban.
He does. And there is no crypto ban in response.
So there's Regulate and
Rainbow Lotus.
That's gonna do 30. So it can definitely clear
Kill
the
the
board.
Snow.
Clear the board relatively nicely here. And then still has the Elon behind it as well. Also gets a nice trade here without losing the Rainigon. I mean, there's another Nifty. That's always a nice pick up there. But this feels like the perfect spot to just drop the Elon,
Ooh.
roll the dice, and gets the hit. Yeah. Mason just concedes, and we're off to game 3, which we know is going to be a Kitsune on Kitsune mirror.
Wow. Stakes are high. $1,200 on the line for first place. Yeah. All coming down to this final game. Good luck to both players. We know that they've been friends for a long time. I think they've met in high school, Ellie was saying, so I'm sure there's some competitive rivalry between them that's built up over the years playing card games together.
I mean, hopefully, I would hope that RTLOL brings people together and builds a community. I would hate to think that we're gonna end a lifelong friendship over a game, but yeah, let's see how this one plays out. Very different hands here. Mason with a much earlier game hand than Snow.
Let's see if he can press that to his advantage.
I mean, you have to imagine in this particular matchup, you just want to try and stick at least a Kitsune and get as much value out of it as possible.
staked into the Snow Leopard. That's unfortunate. If he had that in hand, he could have taken the 50-50 at just eliminating the enemy Banshee for free. Whereas Mason is holding a Snow Leopard 2 now, so... I mean, he could just do it a turn late. Snow has 2 targets now. Ah.
Feels like the perfect time to drop it.
Also has to be mindful of developing the right color combinations of gems. Ooh.
Fortunately, doesn't get the one out
It's
of
the
the
Banshee.
freeze.
Yeah. Needed that last turn.
Kitsune is going to shoot into the
Oh! That was the best possible target.
Nifty into Snow Leopard feels pretty good.
Could stake the Snow Leopard, go for the 50-50, trade in the Harpy. Yep, and he gets it. Develops the Wyvern. Oh, and because of the bull market in play, instantly becomes a 60-70.
70 being a very important number, although Black Swan doesn't care about that.
Yeah. We're gonna see some swan on swan action here. We are. This one getting slightly bigger than the last. Thanks to the 10 base HP and the cumulative effect of like the bull market.
And if it sticks, Mason has the Nifty in hand as well to get a copy of it. So it could definitely build up a very powerful board. And not...
Snow actually has no answer for it, right?
Yeah, not really any great answers here. That 110 HP is going to be really awful.
Misses the 50-50 on the Snow Leopard stake as well. This could snowball.
I mean, at least
Play
Seraph...
the Seraph? Yeah, with the force field.
Force field, so at least it's most likely going to live. You know your opponent doesn't have Liquidate because we saw that in the other decks. I mean, that's a great Nifty target too.
Yeah.
Mason having a lot of great options.
Plays his own Seraph, stakes the Werewolf to give both minions plus 10 power and swings face. I like it. Putting the pressure on.
Snow needs to be really careful here. 190. Not a great spot to be in.
Yeah. Quite a powerful hand, but just not proactive enough. There's just nothing he can do to stem the bleeding immediately.
Just has to go wide and hope that Mason doesn't have the answer.
Yeah.
We know there's no rogues in this matchup, so...
I mean, if Mason pushes his advantage, then the Professor Cowan could definitely come into play.
This is with the Snow Leopard. A hit there to face would have made Aurora be lethal. Both players on 190. Gotta be so careful here if you decide to go face. A Kitsune will get a trigger off the bull market automatically. Goes for the Nifty. Copies the Swan.
And then trades.
Double trade.
Yeah, I think that's the right play.
Kitsune shoots. Misses. Oh no, that's actually, yeah.
It's a good hit with the Seraph. Ah, it's hard to come back from this for Snow. That could be it.
Doesn't really want to roll the Black Swan here. Nifty's not enough.
stake to see one more card, but yeah, we're seeing a clear lethal on board and no way to...
Can't stake the werewolf. Well, you could, but that's super risky.
Yeah. Well, we're dealing 30 damage to your hero. This could be game. Technically, if he stakes into a Dorsey and plays it, I think he lives at 10. Oh, he YOLOs the Swan and hits his own Harpy. And there we have it.
I think that's lethal.
Good game. Mason is our new RTLOL champion. Well played, Mason. Congratulations.
The throne officially being passed from Huncho to someone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Mason Goss is your new RTLOL champion.
There you go. Ali should be happy with that. If after getting eliminated in the second round of the tournament herself, her partner has avenged her and gone all the way through to take the whole tournament. Yeah, some great games, some great matches today. So thanks to everyone who tuned in to see the finals. We will be editing and uploading some more footage onto the YouTube channel in the days and weeks to come. And we'll also see whether we can get a showcase match between Rage and Snow, since we were kind of robbed of that with Rage being uncontactable.
We're actually going to grab.
But yeah.
I'm just going to grab Mason really quick for a quick little chat on stream. If he's available.
It's like a plan.
Cool. Let me just...
Yeah, so just to recap while we get Mason in, biggest ever tournament we've run at Rainy, over 300 registrations, over 200 check-ins to actually participate in the tournament, all the way down to our final champion Mason now. So thank you to everyone who joined, and especially those who made it to the finals for I guess playing again today. We did have to split it over 2 days, so it didn't take 10 to 11 hours. Huge shout out to Blue Mint for partnering with us and just making sure everything went smoothly. And thanks again to Ava Labs for sponsoring the tournament and making the prize pool as big as it was to attract the sort of talent we saw from Alicoin.
Cool. Just going to quickly grab everyone in a call. So I'll just hang this one up. And make a new group. Just quickly adding people in. Actually, we're going to just jump over onto Discord instead. There we go. So we're back. Arkin, if you talk, I should be able to hear you now.
Hey mate, how's it going?
Good. I'll invite. So we're just trying to get our tournament champion, Mason, just in a call just to congratulate him and have a quick chat. Might not be, probably too busy celebrating, I'd say. So yeah, anyway, we'll organise a time to chat with Mason a bit later on. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you everyone who participated. This is by far the biggest tournament that we've ever ran. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we've seen a lot of great gameplay over this week and obviously last weekend as well. So yeah, and obviously yeah, a huge shout out to Bloomint for helping us organise and run this event, and obviously a big shout out to Avalanche, our sponsor for this event. We've made no secret of it. We've done a lot of stuff in the past with Avalanche. We were at GDC on the booth with them. They're a really great team. Hey Snow.
I think we have Snow, yeah.
Hey there.
Hey.
And Mason.
Hello.
Hey everyone.
Welcome.
Ironically, our internet just went out, so I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah, I just noticed that that Ali's stream just crashed at the same time. So I mean, I guess that's good timing. We'd much rather it cut out now, not during the actual finals.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess officially,
I was minutes away from just getting a default win.
Almost, yeah. I mean, you should have just reached over, just turned off Mason's computer and gone from there.
That was the secret strategy, wasn't it? I know some of your team members were kind of saying if things are looking bad, you'll just cut the internet. You're a little bit slow this time, Snowmo. We got the game.
He actually doesn't live here. He's in San Diego. He used to be my roommate though, like 3 years ago.
Cool. Yeah.
So I know where they live. So I sent my guy to go shut off the internet. He was just
he was a little late though. He didn't make it in time.
It's all right.
So yeah,
you
Mason,
didn't get it in time. You don't have to pay him, right?
I guess yeah. I mean, to start with, I mean, to both of you, a huge congratulations on making it through this huge field. I'm super curious because obviously you're both teammates. You're both members of Team Alicoin. I'd love to know what sort of preparation you both did coming in and how you ended up with the deck lists that obviously proved to be very very successful.
Yeah, I can totally walk you through that. So, I mean, when Ali got the sponsorship, we're kind of a tag team and we like to both play the games and try to learn about them. So I was like, I'm going to take a few days and download the game and play some matches. And I started to try and figure out what cards were powerful. And I came across, some ones that were really standing out to me. Like, the Quantum Rug and Rainy were obviously like really strong. Satoshi was feeling really strong. Time Travel was feeling really strong. And I always kind of lean control. So I was like, can I build a control deck in this game? And at first I felt like no, because I tried Crypto Ban and I was just like killing myself. And then I started to lean more toward like the orange control cards because they deal so well with the like replicating 1/1s and things like that. And then I just started to realize that Time Travel is just like such a strong control card and it can really reset like any board, and it's so much stronger than the banish mechanic. So I started to lean in on that, plus Quantum Rug, and I started realizing like those two cards by themselves could win so many games, because if you just survive till turn 10 and you rug them, and they don't kill the rug immediately, you just time travel back to your hand, and it's like really hard to lose games from there. So we started to narrow in on like, we definitely want to be playing one deck that's doing that, and we had just like a really heavy pink-orange version of that. And what we realized is that sometimes it would struggle to close out games, and the best bombs are actually the red bombs. So we started, that's where the three colors kind of came in, where we're like pink, orange, and red, and then we're just splashing yellow for airdrop, because that was another card that in testing, I was just like, this card's insane. And then the struggle was sort of like, what's the second deck that we're going to play, since they can't share cards? And for that, we actually ended up bringing in the guy who made the other quarterfinalist, Rage, who's like, he's been a #1 Legend Hearthstone player, and he's played a lot of card games, and I was like, hey, just play me with this deck and tell me like, you know, what our second deck should be. And he was like, look, I think this deck is obviously the strongest, but if we had to build a second deck that could sort of play like mid-range aggro in this meta, I think pink purple just has some of the strongest cards. And Snow Leopard was a card that we were messing around with in the control list for a while, and we realized like, well, what if we just put that in aggro, and it sort of lets us tempo the board, since it's like a 0-mana nuke. You just have to hit it, which is the hardest part. And then that was our aggro deck, and we definitely feel like the control deck is way stronger. But the pink purple deck, you know, it was the one we were most worried about losing with, but we still felt like it was pretty strong in comparison to a lot of the other stuff that we tested.
Were there any other lists that you guys were considering running?
Well, we had like a lot of tweaks on the control deck, but the other two that I'd say were sort of different, and I can tell you why we didn't run one of them. So a ramp list, we feel like those mages are actually really powerful cards. The green 3/3 and the blue 3/3.
Yep.
And I was playing a version that was sort of like, you ramp, like the whole goal is to play one of those on 3, and then Leprechaun on 4, and then try and just like get into like airdrop and bombs, and you're just dropping like the 9/9s really fast on the board, and you tempo your opponent out. But the reason that like we didn't end up liking that list as much is because it actually made the control list a lot weaker, we felt, because the control list did really well with the airdrops and the 9/9s to like come back in a lot of games, and especially with the time travel. And then without the airdrops and the 9/9s in the deck, it was just not as powerful as something like the pink purple. And the other list that we wanted to play is that when Lambo deck, the red yellow one. It's super powerful if you can stick one Lambo on the board and your opponent's not playing, you know, the global enchants, and you just sort of control the board by trampling over everything and hitting them in the face with like pumped and overkill. And then you can kind of end the game with, you know, people are playing airdrop in that deck too. I think we could have done without that, but it's really hard to play the deck without like Elon and Lust and these kind of end game red bombs like Kronhi. And we wanted to use those in and that deck plays I can never remember what the card is called, the big foot that nukes the board for 60.
Yeah, Crypto Van.
Crypto Van, yeah, we just call it the foot. Yeah. When that deck I think really needs that card, because it's sort of like after you're doing the overkill stuff through the middle of the game, the way you close the game out is you just kind of start dropping the foot every turn until you can go like Chastity and then Lust it and nuke them for 190. Or just kind of finish them off with the rest of the massive minions that are in that deck. So I feel like that one, and that was actually a deck that I faced a couple times toward the end of the tournament, so I feel like it was winning those early rounds. But we tested against it so much, we felt like we could beat it with what we had.
Yeah, that Lust Chastity combo, I know I saw a few games like last weekend, that 190 to the face out of nowhere can really just turn games super quick. I'm actually really curious. I'll direct this question more to Snow, just so we're not like we can have our second place player actually answer a question. I'm curious, if the tournament was best of 1, not best of 3, would you run one of the lists that you ran here, or would it be something a little different? I think I've caught him off guard. I mean, Mason, if you want to answer.
We lose Mo?
Probably, yeah. If you want to take it, go for it.
Mo, you take care of the kid?
Sorry. I'm back. I'm back.
Get out.
Sorry,
Did you hear the question?
No.
I was just going to ask, so obviously we run our tournament in this best of 3 conquest format, where we force you to use unique heroes and unique cards per deck, just to spice things up, have a bit of variety in deck building and such. I'm curious if the tournament was a best of 1 format, if you would use one of the lists that you ran in this event, or maybe something a little different.
Ooh. Yeah, I think we would definitely play the control list just no matter what. And maybe tech it a little bit more to use some of the cards that we had to use in the more aggressive deck. But that control list is just bonkers.
And that's the child of Mason's brain, huh? So Mason's the genius behind the control deck, and then it sounds like Rage came up with the second deck, the Kitsune pink-blue combo sort of thing.
And
yeah, that's definitely
I'm just a pilot.
Mo didn't do as much of the deck building, but I would say that like as a group, we refine the decks together, and so it's super helpful to be able to play against other skilled pilots with the decks, and then sort of be able to say like, oh, this card felt really strong, and then we can start to tweak the decks. Like originally we were playing 4 Gary Genslers or the Regulate card and 4 of the Shock Leopard, and then it wasn't until we started testing more that we were like, okay, this is a little overkill actually, and like I wouldn't have got there by myself. I definitely needed the rest of them to sort of test that stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always really interesting whenever we run events like this, especially when it's a brand new meta with 7 Deadly Sins only just this being the first event with 7DS. Seeing what players come up with and what they all pilot. I know I was personally expecting to see more Gratitude, more purple decks in there. But yeah, meta might be just a little bit too new for players to have figured out that particular combo deck just yet. But no. I guess, yeah, the only other thing I'd love to sort of just throw out there for both of you, and this obviously is very much a question to try and help like uplift our community. I mean, 1, will you play in the next tournament? And I guess 2, what sort of advice or suggestions would you have for players who maybe are a little newer to trading card games in general, who are looking to sort of step up their game and hopefully potentially face one of you two in the next tournament finals?
I'll jump in and say that I probably will participate unless I have another commitment. And then Mo, you wanna take the new player advice, or you want me to do that?
Yeah, I can take that, and I'll be in the next one as well. But I'd say for new players, you just got to get out there and try stuff out. Take some of the deck lists that were played in this tournament, try them out, refine them. All you can really do is just get your feet wet and start playing. I know when I queue on ladder, it's usually just the same people, so I'd love to see some fresh faces out there.
Are there any particular decks that, obviously outside the 2 decks list that your team ran, are there any particular decks that you'd be suggesting for other players to be keeping an eye on and trying out?
I do like that pink-purple deck. I think it's just really fun when you go off with the Kitsune and you get all the health buffs. So I think that's just a generally fun deck to play for any new player or any player in general. Although I don't think it is the strongest deck in the meta, it is probably the most fun.
I'd recommend for new players trying out that Wen Lambo deck. And then, because I just feel like that it has so many tools and it can be a little more forgiving, and like the plays are more straightforward. The control deck, I think, is very strong, but it's sort of like a little bit of a puzzle to solve each game. And I like that because I've been playing card games for a really long time. But if you're a new player to the game, it might be a little hard to figure out what you're supposed to do on each turn. And then I would also recommend any of those like kind of swarm decks. There's like a yellow one that a lot of people have been playing that they try to drop one of those replicators on turn 1 or 2, and then when the board gets wide enough, they can play these minions that get stronger when like a dude dies, or it's just like a 2-mana 70/70 because it gets cheaper the more guys you have on the board. And that's another pretty straightforward deck that can run away with games. If they're not playing orange, it's like pretty hard to come back from that start.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. I guess, yeah, obviously, great to have you guys and the whole team playing the Lords of Light at the moment. For anyone tuning in, we're in open beta. You can download the game right now on the Elixir launcher. And obviously, the big announcement that we had during GDC is that we will be, when we do our full launch later on this year, we will be partnering with Epic Games. So we'll be on the Epic Games Store for that. I guess just a final question, I guess, for both of you. And in no way, shape, or form am I suggesting this will actually happen, but if you were to design a card to add into the Lords of Light, what would that card be?
Oh, I wish I had thought about this more before this interview, because I could come up with something pretty good.
I mean, definitely feel free to reach out. Like, we're always open to chatting
we did
about
have
design.
we did have an incentive available. If Ali won the tournament, she could design a card. If you
Does
give
her
us a
husband
good
winning
enough,
count?
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. If you design a card that's good enough, we could definitely look at putting it in. So you don't have to answer on the spot now. Just if you had like a loose idea of what
Can I throw the question back at you in a little bit of a different format? Of would you consider a card that costed multiple colors or was a multicolored card, but then had an additional crystal of a particular color? So maybe like 2 multicolor plus 1 green plus a colorless?
I guess I'm about to reveal something that we're designing for set 4 at the moment. So like every game, especially trading card games, obviously R&D works quite a fair bit ahead of where the actual live game currently sits. So our players know that set 3, so set 1 and 2, Genesis and Seasons, are live in the client right now. Set 3 is called Formations. That will be coming out around the middle of the year. Set 4, we haven't revealed anything regarding like the code name or anything like that about the set yet, but I will say that there will be some interesting things in terms of multicolor cards in that particular set, without giving too much away.
Yeah, so I suppose to answer your question, Mason, we would consider something like that. Sure, we're pretty open to. I suppose it's like from a design perspective, it's always an interesting challenge to balance making the game have enough depth for players like yourselves who really go above and beyond to like your whole team. It seems like get the most out of the depth and complexity and take it to the limits, but also making it accessible to new players where they're not overwhelmed by the complexity that they see. But yeah, 100% we're looking at something like that. So if you had free reign to kind of not be constrained by the current design, then sure. Like what sort of card would you have in mind then?
Well, what I was thinking, I guess, and maybe it's just not a single card that really gets me all the way there with my thought process, but is that I really love kind of the design of Quantum Rug and Chad Rainey, but I feel like what it's done to the format and what we noticed in testing is that like in order to have a competitive deck, you like pretty much have to be running one of those cards. At least that's how I feel about it. Like even the 2 color decks, right? The pink purple deck. I mean, we're running just like a splash of other cards because of like the stake mechanics and things. And so I was thinking that, you know, to sort of separate the bomb that I would expect from each color, like it was kind of frustrating for me in testing against unknown decks. I wouldn't know, are they playing Rug or are they playing Chad Rainey? Because they could kind of be playing either one, and I want to make different moves based on that. But most games, you know, the color of their lands or the class of the hero that they're playing sort of determines what bombs they're going to have. And so I can play around that. And so I wanted to make a bomb. It would probably either be a red or a blue dragon. And it would have some multicolor and then either blue or red, depending on which one I designed. And then probably some sort of like controlling of the board mechanic. I'd have to put, I don't want to just like throw out stats and mana cost and have it be like under or overpowered, because you'd probably have to think about it a little bit more. But that's sort of where my mind was going with the question.
Yeah, perfect. So it'd basically be rainbow plus a colored gem. So it'd be like rainbow plus blue or rainbow plus red instead of rainbow plus colorless for the cost. And you'd balance around that.
Yeah, and then when I see my opponent, you know, playing blue, or maybe like 2 blue and a rainbow or something, I don't know. There's a way to do this that I'd have to think about it a little bit more. But I kind of want to force people to be a little bit more into one part of the color pie, and then that kind of telegraphs a little bit over the course of the game what to expect from your opponent. And I know that's like a little bit of the mind games that go beyond what a new player might be experiencing, but it's this type of stuff that makes card games really exciting for me.
It's a great idea. Thanks for that. I really appreciate it. I think that ties into somewhat what we had in mind for set 4, but it gives us a lot of more inspiration and direction in terms of what a a professional player or a pro team would like to see in terms of the way we design the game.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, of all the sort of, gain 1 mana per turn games that I've played, I feel like your mana system is the best that I've seen. It really takes from like the cool parts of Magic the Gathering, but also the things about Hearthstone that are really nice, where you're not getting like mana screwed all the time. So you kind of get both out of this game, and it also gets me like excited about the deck building process, because you get to sort of think about how you want to combine all of the different colors. And that's always something I missed in Hearthstone. I was like, man, I wish I could combine 2 classes together and see what kind of decks we could make if we could do that. And this game really lets you do that from a deck building perspective. And so just wanted to say that was really fun for me.
I know in Hearthstone, like this is years and years ago, they did like a tavern brawl where you could actually mix like 2 different classes together. And
it was one of my favorites.
Yeah. When I was playing, I'm like, oh my god, like why is this not like Hearthstone? It was insane. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, the staking and being able to run any combination of the 7 colors is obviously a very core part of the RTLOL experience. But yeah, we've obviously done a lot of work to try and make sure that's as accessible to players as possible and easy to understand. But yeah, obviously gives you that nice strategic depth where you're not limited in any way of what cards you choose to put into your decks. And we've already announced that moving forward, our competitive format will be an eternal format. So yeah, as we release more and more sets, the amount of cards, the amount of decks will just keep expanding, and yeah, should lead to some really interesting games. Anyway,
absolutely.
I'm sure
Mo, you have anything you would add to that on the new cards?
Yeah,
topic?
I feel like my answer would be a little more simple rather than detailed on like mana crystals and such. I just want more J-Pal. I do. I just want more J-Pal. Maybe a little Janet Yellen. A little more Fed regulation. I like that stuff. That stuff's really
Yellen's
funny.
in there with crypto lockup.
She is.
Yeah.
And she's on Zeal too, right? Or Zeus?
Is she?
On Zeus, we got both of them.
Of Zeus, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Zeus unfortunately didn't see much play in this tournament, but one of the cheaper legendaries. I think it costs 4 at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just completely overlooked that card.
You're a Fed fan, huh? You want us to put more of the... Yeah.
I wouldn't say
He
a
likes
fan.
to role play as the Fed.
Yeah, fair enough.
I do
suppose
think you should buff CZ though. That he needs it.
Think so? Yeah.
Yeah, he's way stronger than he is as a card in real life.
I mean, if we make an Interpol card, then that could be like the natural counter to CZ, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think we're doing a bit of an
lifesteal damages the player instead.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff we're looking at doing. They'll most likely be seasons, but yeah, using the season cards as ways to shake up various things, and lifesteal obviously is one of the things we've got on our radar at the moment. But yeah,
we've also got to put SBF in prison clothes. We're going to do a bit of an update to his art just to reflect the current state of affairs. But yeah, thanks so much for your time, guys. I really appreciate the little debrief, and yeah, congratulations again to both of you for making it to the finals, and Mason for becoming our new RTLOL champion. Yeah, it's really cool to see what you guys have accomplished as a team, putting your minds together and think tanking it. And I think that's probably the best advice I could give for the rest of our community is, if you can get together with a bunch of other players and kind of put your heads together, you can usually come up with some better decks than you might be able to do on your own. So I think there's no greater evidence than seeing 5 of you guys make it to the top 8, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me just plugging real quick, we did post those deck lists in the AliCoin Discord in the VIP gated channel. It's like $18 worth of AliCoin to have access to that, and you would have had access to the same deck list that we played in this tournament. We also were posting some of the practice deck lists that we had. We had another member top 16 out of that. So, if you guys want a gaming community that's on top of the Web3 games and is competitive, like we're always in there and we're always thinking about this stuff. So would love to have more of you guys join us for those.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get a link off you and I'll make sure we tweet that out with the tournament results. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, we've been getting a lot of people asking about like the decks and how you guys managed to be so successful and stuff. So I'm sure this will be good exposure for Alicoin as well, that you guys represented so well.
I mean, I guess the message here for the wider RTLOL community is if you can't beat them, join them, hey?
Why
There
not?
you go.
Yeah.
We'll just be
Star
one
City
giant
games or-
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, $18 to know what decks the other top players in the tournament might be running, and being able to strategize and test against them before an event could be an interesting leg up. But yeah, again, yeah, huge congratulations to both of you. Like I said, this is by far the largest tournament we've ever ran for the Lords of Light in terms of both number of players and prize pool. So yeah, definitely no small feat in taking this down. Obviously, I'd like to give a huge shout out.
Thanks for putting it on, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say anytime. I'll definitely have to check with some of our partners if they're willing to put up these for the prize pools every month. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to doing more events like this one. Obviously, we'd love to just quickly give a huge shout out to Blue Mint for helping us run this event over this weekend and last weekend. They've been amazing. And also check out their website, because they do run a bunch of events, not just for the Lords of Light, but for a bunch of other games as well. A huge shout out to Avalanche, our primary sponsor and partner for this particular event. Avalanche have been huge supporters of the Lords of Light since day one, and we wouldn't be where we are without their constant support. So just a big shout out to Coop, Parker, Garrison, and the whole team over there at Avalanche. And finally, I mean, also a big shout out to Ali for streaming the event. I know she was streaming some of the final games today. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it that deep in the tournament. Got a little unlucky with some Snow Leopard RNG. I believe it was in round 2.
Yeah.
But
and with the matchup, I think unfortunate.
And
to
going
match
second
against
both times.
Q Pioneer. Yeah, he's always done well in our previous tournaments.
but
We watched that game back just to see, and I was like, I would have made exactly the same plays on every turn. So I don't think
yeah.
4 of us made top 8. I think it's like a little disheartening for her, but I really don't think she played poorly. It just is. It's how it goes sometimes with card games.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's always any deck-based game. There's always an element of RNG in there. The trick is just putting in enough games to try and mitigate that as much as you can. But yeah, and the final shout out I'd love to give, I think everyone on this call would agree, is just a huge shout out to our community. Thank you so much for turning up in such insane numbers and supporting a little indie studio from Australia making a trading card game full of memes and jokes. But yeah, we're very honoured and humbled that everyone seems to be enjoying the game and playing as much as they are. I know in the last couple of weeks we've seen some of our highest numbers in terms of number of games played and daily active users and all that good stuff. And from here it's onwards and upwards. Obviously we're ramping up towards our full launch on the Epic Game Store, and yeah, can't wait to have everyone along for the ride. So yeah, we'll call it there. Thank you everyone for tuning in and joining us today, and we'll catch you later in the Rainiverse. Have a great week.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.
And happy
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Happy Easter.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks, Apes.